Hi, you guys. I've been doing updates behind the scenes whenever I can. You know, I just wish I'd recorded more of these because this third quarter moon to me is really important because, the next stop is a new moon eclipse in Capricorn. So this check-in was with Esper. Man, I just don't like him. But before I talk about him, I need to show you this. This chart here, this is the third quarter moon over Washington, D.C. Remember, this is the ascendant, this is the eastern horizon. This is a sign that was coming over the horizon when the sun rises. So you can tell here that with this quarter moon, the moon right here is really close. It's like just below the horizon. So it's in the first house of identity. If you want to think of the signifier of a card, it has that much power. And when it's this close to the cusp of coming over into the 12th, and that would be when the sun rises, it's like there's a lot of tension there. There's a lot of it's triggered a lot, so to speak. But the thing is that the moon travels this way, so it will never cross the horizon as the moon progresses through the signs. It's right there. It's you're like something's ready to pop. So the way I've been reading these teroscopes is that the first house has to do with who you are, and I always have this for Donald. The ascendant is 25 degrees, Virgo. So this point is what breathes life into the chart for this lunation. Okay? So if this was a person's chart when they were born, this would be when they first took their first breath. That's why the ascendant is so important. Now, this moon is going to travel, right now it's in Libra, and it's going to travel through the first house, the second house, the third house, and we will have the new moon eclipse right here. Remember, this quadrant, the owners are Aries, Taurus, Gemini. So this is the spring season. So the spring season always has dominion over this. So even though we're in the very last vestiges of fall, which, by the way, high five me, I said beginning the first day of fall, we would have justice all through the fall, every single day. And here we have impeachment, and we're just like a week away from, oh no, we're just days away from the winter ingress. So anyway, the spring always has dominion over here, even though we're in a different fall. This is like where they own the real estate, okay? The other thing, sigh. When we get the moon over on this side, it's like Donald takes ownership of it. So he's really kind of in the driver's seat. He's got the steering wheel to drive this energy, and it is a quarter moon, so there's tension. It's a crisis point, and we're certainly seeing and feeling that with Donald and the Republicans. And then it's going to progress further and further. If you notice here, there's only one planet above the horizon, and that's Uranus. So if this is a horizon, when things go across the east-west axis, we can only see what's in the skies above us. We can't see below here because this is like the other side of the world. We can't see through the ground down here. So as these energies play underground with Washington, D.C., we don't get to see these details. We're just going to feel the shock of it, especially when the moon gets closer to Scorpio and opposes Uranus over here. Oh, Uranus and Taurus in the 8th house. This section has to do with life, death, transformation, other people's money. Think taxes, think bribes, think money laundering, think cryptocurrency. So we should be getting some shocking news about 2.5 days about some moneyed interests. But there's a lot of things happening that we can't see, we won't ever see. That's why you love us tarot readers and astrologers, because we can figure this stuff out and fill in the gaps. We all have pieces of the puzzle. Oh, I was talking about Esper. Wait, I have to let the dog in. I had to let the dog and the cat in. So anyway, so not a whole lot we're going to be able to see between now and Christmas. The ascendant and the midheaven are ruled by Mercury, so this has a lot to do with communication, thinking, reasoning, negotiations, contracts, digital conversations, documents, publications, local neighborhoods, our pets. So that's what has dominion over in Washington, D.C. now. So getting back to Esper, I'm telling you, this guy is just such bad news. So this is his teroscope. Oh, one last thing. And when Donald is always freaked out with quarter moons, and when he gets the moon on his side, he is just a mess for like a week. And this is what we have to deal with before Christmas. And then everyone's going to blame the Democrats, blah, blah, blah. Ignore it. Ignore it. Ignore it. It's because they don't know what to do with what's going on, because it has to be everybody else but Donald's fault. So, what's going on with Esper? He's planning to be engaged on the defense, but having the upper hand. Maybe he's working with Facebook. I don't know, because in the 12th house of secrets, hidden enemies, he's got a young person here with a lot of money. Oh, I bet he is working with Facebook. I bet these guys consider... I just realized, I think they've probably included social media as part of one's defense. Oh my God, is this what the space thing is? The Space Force is about? Digital social media? What is Esper doing this week? Well, he had been having some secret discussions about trying to make some decisions, and whatever they've decided has come to fruition, and they've made their decision. In terms of income and gain, he's put it out there. There's a plan, and they're progressing on whatever they decided, because Donald had communicated, third house, an offer. This is what we're going to do. Gee, can you even think where this is going to show up? Oh, you think it might show up in Putin's house and the lands traveled far away? Well, look at this. Esper is working on data. Ninth house, these are your lands far, far away. So Esper's focus this week when it comes to lands far away, particularly Putin, is data. If you guys watched my Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, They Have a Secret, just such a bizarre reading, and it just still, I can't imagine that. Like when I posted that video, I was like, this is crazy stuff. Somehow they're going to get to an agreement and Trump would be out someday. Well, now that she's withholding the articles of impeachment and has the upper hand, I can kind of see something starting to take place going that route. But the difference of what got Donald out, and I said these were votes for Mitch. This is what Esper is working on, and Esper and Mitch work hand in hand a lot. They're always working together. In fact, I should probably ask Esper. Oh, well, wait, maybe I have the answer. Because I'm just sitting here thinking maybe he was working on Mitch with this, and what would that be about? Well, I had already gotten the clarifiers. We have the sun, so is that data that's going to be revealed? Is it propaganda about Donald? This was in the ninth house. There's no Russian strength. Is this a weakened Donald then? And then the Four of Swords retreat. Is Donald... This is just weird to me, because usually if you are supposed to be recovering and retreating, and this is reversed, and you enter something and do something before you're ready to, it causes a lot of kind of, I don't want to say destabilization, but it's just not good. And even with swords, socially with swords, this reverse causes, now I got it, agitation. Looks like a social media op to me. And that's in the 9th house. Oh, look at, we have Taurus, Venus feeding that on the cusp. So this involves money and communications. We get down to the house of what Gemini, this is a sign Gemini, typically rules the 3rd. And there's Donald, who's a Gemini, making an offer, usually with money. Oh, look, there's Mercury. There's an agreement. These people. Yeah. Squaring off to the vertex and Neptune. Yeah, to create confusion. And this is the house of defense and military. Yes, Esper is working on an app overseas using taxpayer money. This was actually the reason why I picked up my camera to show this to you. And I often think that if I hold my camera in video, it will make me not talk as long. That's why I don't put it up to talk freely with my hands, but that's not working right now. But anyway, Esper drew the Ace of Cups in the area of shared income, shared resources, money, life, death, taxes, transformation. This Ace of Cups caught my eye at the full moon because Lavrov installed something, communication type of device in the White House that is denoted by this thing getting inserted here. And then like the cables coming off and sharing information. And the only people who had access to it or knew about it then was Donald, Eric, Senator Shelby, Esper. Sheldon Adelson knows about it too. Obviously, then it has to do with money. So this was in the area of Esper's shared resources, meaning money, data, valuables. I wanted to know, like, I think Esper, like, has the password, or maybe he has the control feature of it. I don't know. So I asked Esper, I wanted to know what the clarifiers were for this. Stealing data, stealing information. They could be stealing intelligence. They could be stealing budgets. Stealing to cause angst, to cause a nightmare, especially with a digital operation. The government that has no rules. Stealing from the U.S. government. This Esper guy is just so nasty. I want to know what's going to happen to him. If I could just read all day long, I would, but I can't. Such is my fantasy life. Here, 7th house. This has to do with partnerships. I also call it we the people, we the public. Opposite the president because he hates us. He has an agreement here. The other thing that had been highlighting a lot at the full moon were the Page of Swords, Page of Wands, Page of Cups, pages, which in turn to me look like spies, Russian ops, mafiosos. They're probably are originally from Russia, that are probably here illegally. They could also be from the Saudis. And I feel like this is one of those people running his Irans. In terms of military investigations, public servants, we have the World card, something coming to an end. Now, this might have been the impeachment because I couldn't figure out at the full moon why I kept seeing so much death all over the place. I think that was to kill the impeachment. They knew at the full moon they were going to kill the impeachment trial. Well, here's the world. Something coming to an end, an investigation coming to an end. The 5th house of the sun. The sun denotes the president of a nation or a leader of a nation in a horoscope for the nation. The lovers. Trump Russia is who Esper thinks is running this country. 4th house. Down here. How our country is nurtured, our security, our defenses, how we care for one another. We don't. Judgment reversed. Talk about bias. Talk about lawlessness. Don't care. Except for you and you who are coming over the border. And you who looks a little too ethnic. But what's crowning Espar? I sure hope this is SDNY, but I think this is Pelosi's impeachment. And the 11th house of hopes, wishes. His hopes and wishes. Do you remember what I told you what the moon card is? First of all, it represents China. But it's the process by which China and Russia squeeze the United States economically. And they do that through Donald, who's more than eager to hand stuff over or, do tariffs. So this is Espar's week heading into the new moon eclipse. And Saturn does not have patience with this kind of stuff. The sun will be in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, and there will be a stellium of planets that will have nothing to do with this type of garbage. Okay, here's another teroscope I find peculiar. Some of it doesn't make sense to me, so I'm just putting this out there for you guys. You have any ideas, let me know. On the ascendant, think of this as the card of the reading, we have the Five of Wands, fighting. But yet in the first house, we have a celebration. See, this to me is always about elections and the Three Amigos, which ultimately is about elections. So this person had some secret talks. I think Esper had this as well in the first house. He did. The Three of Pentacles reversed he had in his first house. Well, this person about elections, there's been a decision's been made about the plans that they're going to do, separating people, separating decisions with the Trump dynasty. It's interesting that this is Elaine Chao. So she's also involved with elections now, apparently because of hubby. Look at this. When it comes to income, gains, wealth, what does she have for income? The White House. She gets all of her contracts from the White House. We're going to go up here because in the 12th house, and now I've been seeing this a lot, cropping up more lately, is the Seven of Cups. Whether it's upright or reversed. Reversed means you've had these options, you've been deciding, you've made a decision, and now you're going to have something tangible. So that is Elaine Chao's secrets or hidden enemies. I think this is her secret. Maybe a secret deal. The other thing that's been showing up lately a lot too is this Hanged Man. Delays, different perspective, being a martyr. This is the 11th house, has Leo, the sun, which makes me think of Photis again. Why is there a delay for him? What are they doing? Well, here we go again. Look at this. Here's that Ace of Cups that Lavrov had in the White House that Esper knows about. Well, when it comes to hopes and wishes, Elaine Chao, hoping that this thing will help them delay maybe a burden in transmitting information. The wish is that there's a delay so that they can transmit information abroad related to their burden. See, they're so burdened by Russia because of Russia knows everything. And then they just keep giving more to Russia, which is Russia's like, look what you did. Now you owe me. It's just this vicious cycle. I don't think they can ever get out. And what's crowning Elaine Chao for this cycle until we get to the eclipse is her comfort and her security. Same with the oligarchs. And the way they're going to achieve that is through turning the government upside down with no rules for the President of the United States and taking action for him. That's how they are going to have their security needs met. I think that's been happening. This one I don't totally understand. I've been seeing this Eight of Swords more and more. you know, that's how they use psyops on people, on competitors, with competition with elections, or people going to jail. Well, this is lands far away. So someone related to lands far away in this situation. I don't know who that is. So the clarifiers, I don't understand either. So this is what we have. Moneyed news. You know, usually this is Jared or Junior. Or it could be someone carrying the money back and forth. I would like to say it's like a Lev or an Igor, but they always show up as like a spy first. So the person that carries the money is usually like a legitimate person related to the White House. The past children of the Republican Party. And here we go. Here's that force of an offer. Take it. And news from Russia / Saudis. So this is what Elaine Chao is focused on as she heads towards the eclipse. In the 8th house of shared resources, I thought this was very interesting. Shared monies, laundering money, bribes, and the like. Life, death, transformation. She has a 5 of Swords. It's my Mafia card. Does she have someone she's working with abroad, like a Lev or an Herb, but that isn't that person, or like a Manafort? 8th house, shared resources. These are the clarifiers. They're going to share by stealing. It's going to be justified. They're going to maintain balance with stealing, and it's going to happen quickly. Which just makes me think of this White House in the 2nd house for income gains, this thing that Lavrov used to communicate, now stealing for shared resources. 7th house, we the people, we have death postponed, delays. I think this has to do with the impeachment, delaying impeachment, or just tossing it all together. In the 6th house, this has to do with military, public servants, investigations. The devil. That is usually Putin. But then also, Bill Barr showed up, so has Rebecca Mercer. Look at these clarifiers for their 6th house of public servants. Spies for the 6 Wands mob. Working on data. There's that data thing that's supposed to bring down Mitch with Pelosi. And that they're progressing on this plan with them. So this is just kind of like standard day-to-day operations, because that's what the 6th house is, day-to-day operations. And look at, there's Neptune there. Oh, confusion. We're going to disguise it. In the 5th house of the sun, she's got an agreement with the White House, the president. And look at how strongly placed Venus is right there on the cusp of the 5th house. More money. USA defenses, how we're nurtured and protected here at home. Look at all those resources. Look at all that stuff she has access to. And then this I find interesting, the 3rd house. There's a person there. This has to do with communications, contracts, thinking, reasoning, digital operations, communications, the world. So something is coming to an end with communications there. It might be related to the law, because Sagittarius, but I'm not totally sure what's going on with this. You know, you could say maybe something's coming to an end because Scorpio here feeds the 3rd house, and this Scorpio rules life, death, transformation. Maybe they're bringing an end to whatever this is. Oh, maybe they have to bring an end to whatever this operation is and get it done quickly because their justice is watching them. They got to like wrap up shop or something. I don't know. It's weird. I have not seen anything like this with my check-ins.